Hi, I'm Eric Goll, and I want to talk about a question that most families avoid, but every parent or caregiver with a loved one who has a developmental disability faces sooner or later. What will happen to my disabled loved one when I die? This is a tough question, I get it, but stick with me here because I'm going to help you. And avoiding facing this challenge could do everything you've worked so hard to do to build a good life for your loved one so far. In fact, according to the Future Life Planning National Survey by the ARC, 62% of families had no plan at all for what happens when they can no longer provide support for their loved one with a disability. And only 20% of families had a written plan. Many families just assume siblings or an extended family member will simply figure it out. Now, I've worked with over 1,000 families to create a customized life plan with their loved one, and I've seen it many times where relying just on informal expectations and plans leads to total chaos, and I do not want that to happen to you. It's important for you to know what can happen if there's no life plan for your adult with a developmental disability in place. And I'm also going to guide you through how to start to put in that detailed customized life plan for your loved one. So first, let's talk about what can happen if you don't have a written life plan in place for your loved one. So first, if you don't have that plan, life for your loved one stops as they know it if you're no longer there to manage their day-to-day routine and support. And other family members are just thrown into an extremely stressful situation trying to care for your loved one without the knowledge or guidance to help your loved one live their best life. Second, there can be financial hardship. So social benefits for your loved one can get cut off due to improper or missing wills and trusts, and bank accounts can be frozen because people might not have the authority to access them. Third, court battles can erupt amongst family members fighting for guardianship or alternatives to guardianship or control, costing thousands of dollars in legal fees and months of uncertainty for your loved one, which is the absolute worst part and heartbreaking. And during that time, could be medical care or other important decisions can be delayed or blocked. And fourth, tragically, your loved one could be placed in an emergency group home setting or a chosen facility by the government, wherever there is availability, regardless of the quality, fit, or safety. This can lead to isolation and decrease your loved one's quality of life in a significant way. So just assuming that your other family members are going to take care of them is not a plan. I want to give you an action plan to create that safe and secure future for your loved one with a disability. Okay, so there's 4 steps I'm going to guide you through. Step number 1 is to have the conversation now with other family members. It's essential to start to get family alignment or alignment with those other important people around your loved one about what the future looks like for your loved one and what a good life looks like for your loved one. Be open about what you're doing to prepare for the future. And that leads us into this point or step number 2, which I strongly recommend you do. So step number 2 is to create a written, customized life plan. This is not just a will. This is not just a trust. It's a detailed, customized guide as to who your loved one is and what a good life looks like for them. It also includes things like what a good routine or a good daily life looks like for your loved one, what their relationships look like, what good support looks like for your loved one, and what you envision for your loved one in terms of home, in terms of support, in terms of how your loved one's contributing in a meaningful way and having a fulfilling day in their life. It answers bigger questions like what does a good life look like for your loved one? And when I work with families to create that customized life plan, it includes all 8 steps of what a good life looks like. It starts with engage. Hey, you got to get started. Connect who your loved one is. Capability, relationships, contribution, home, support, and finally your written life plan with clear goals and action steps. Now, if you want to get started on this, you can go down and click below. I've got my free life planning one-on-one guide that you can get started on right away. Now, that brings us to step number 3, which is to establish those financial and legal structures. Now, I strongly recommend that you create that customized life plan first because it guides all of those financial and potentially legal structure decisions. But after you've done that, again, step number 3, establish financial and legal structures. The most important document that you want to ensure you have is your personal wills, because that dictates what happens with your finances and potentially other care instructions for your loved one. Included within that could be a trust or maybe a couple of different types of trusts. And that's essential because it helps to protect your loved one's social benefit. You also want to consider the alternatives to guardianship, which could be powers of attorney or a representative payee, so that your loved one is well supported and has someone that can help them make decisions that are important for their life. Step number 4 is to then start implementing the life plan. And to do that now, well, you have the most energy and you have the most time. You're not going to have more time later. It's likely that you're not going to have more energy later. The best time to get started is now. Also, you want to consider, you want those loving, freely given relationships around your loved one. You're trying to answer the question of who will be there for my loved one when I die. Other loving, trusted, neurotypical relationships is the best answer. And those relationships take time. So you want to make sure your family and other people who know and love your loved one are around them. You want to build those connections now. You want to make them aware of the best life for your loved one and understand what that looks like for your loved one. So the key here is that everything flows from that customized life plan for your loved one. Think of it as the operations manual for your adult loved one's life. My sister's life only kept moving forward because my family had a written life plan that guided each decision so that we knew what was going to happen when my parents couldn't be there. It also included huge benefits for my sister now, helping her transition out of living in my mom and dad's place to having her own place, and her growth trajectory has been incredible. Do not wait until a crisis hits to start taking action. Take these steps now. Have a conversation with other family members. Take the steps to start creating a customized life plan for your loved one. Then you can work on starting to set up your will, your trust, your legal structures to fit that life plan, and start the implementation now while you have the most time and energy. For help getting started, scroll down below and click download on your free copy of my Life Planning 101 guide to help you get started. It walks you through each step with examples and helps you envision what that positive, good life could look like for your loved one. I'm excited to help you get started. I'm Eric Goll. Together, let's take a small step forward.